Hello, it is I, Leclerc. Nah, don't work, does it? Hello, it's me again. I'm back. 5 weeks roughly since I've been on HRT. It's been an interesting 5 weeks. First things you'll probably notice, of course, is that the picture is a little bit better. Tried recording this 3 or 4 times, but my webcam, forget it. It's finally decided it's not going to give me any colour, and it's certainly not going to work properly. I know what the problem is. It's almost certainly a dry joint, just needs a soldering iron on it, but it's built into the computer, so I can't get at it. So I've managed to buy another webcam, so hopefully this is going to be better. Anyway, enough waffle. So what have I noticed over the last 5 weeks? A few things. The first thing you need to be aware of, and one that I was aware of, is that you may get withdrawal symptoms, very much like coming off tobacco. If you've ever been a smoker, then just decided suddenly to screw up the packet and throw it in the bin and not have another cigarette. And yes, I've done that myself, and I did stop smoking by just going cold turkey, but it does have its disadvantages. It's very much the same with HRT. Coming off testosterone and onto estrogen, your body's got to readjust its hormone levels, so it takes a little while it sorts itself out. Mostly it's been down to just feeling a bit low on mood, not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. I suppose you could describe that as just feeling a little bit depressed, but really it was quite low depression. I was a little bit hungry, but I was also a little out of sorts. I didn't quite feel in touch with reality for a few days. Excuse me. But after about 2 weeks it started to clear itself up, and now it's basically over with. So it's just one of those things you need to be aware of. You may have a couple of weeks while you get used to the medication. I'm quite sure it happens the other way round for a trans gentleman as well. So it's nothing to be too concerned with. It's only really one of those things you need to worry about if it continues for longer than maybe 2 weeks. Certainly one thing I can say is that I'm a lot more tired and I'm sleeping better, but that's most likely down to the cyproterra and acetate. That stuff does make you tired. Again, I was partially expecting that, but it's very nice to be able to sleep for a change. So, other than the withdrawal symptoms and being a bit tired, have I noticed anything else in the last 5 weeks? Well, yes and no. 5 weeks on hormones is a little early to say that there's been too many changes, but there are the beginning signs of changes. I've noticed body odour has changed a little. It's not very big change, but it's a small change. I think that's just down to the way the body works, and it secretes waste products through the sweat. So of course now I'm not secreting so much testosterone byproducts, I'm secreting more of the estrogen forms of byproducts. So the chemical mix for that's being sweated will have changed, therefore the sense of the way you smell changes subtly. It's not really unpleasant, it's just something I've noticed. I've been used to a certain smell coming from my skin for so long I don't notice it. Now it's changed, yeah, I notice it. So yeah, it's one of those small things. I don't suppose everybody gets it, but some people do. Skin is starting to change, although everybody's slightly different. My skin was more like rough sandpaper, or maybe even a finer grade of sandpaper. It was a little bit coarse and scratchy. It's now feeling a bit more waxy, like rubbing a candle. I know that sounds really strange. It may still continue to change, and it probably will do, but just at the moment it's feeling a little waxy. I find that a little odd, but I'm getting used to it. Trying to read my notes at the moment. There's other things that you sometimes notice as well. Although fat distribution can take 6-9 months, maybe even a year to really get going, Even in the early stages you notice a few slight things. I seem to be losing a little bit of fat around my waist. I can't say that I'm gaining any around my hips at this moment in time, but I have noticed that I'm starting to put a bit more fat up top. I could be wrong, but it does feel like there's a little bit more fat going down at that end. I've also noticed the early stages of breast growth, and it always starts with the nipples. We call that Tanner stage 1. Best way I can describe it is pins and needles being shoved into me nipples. More uncomfortable than painful, but I find it quite comical. I'm used to a high level of pain, so it doesn't really bother me. But I have been warned by one or two friends that it won't be long before it goes to all-out war and get really painful. The stage up you get to will be the lines of, oh, shall we say, you can't put a bra on and you can't sort of brush against them because it gets that painful. I've yet to get that far, and it probably will be another 2 to 3 months, but I'm going to keep an eye out for when that starts happening. It should be interesting, to say the least. One of the things I did notice within about 10 days, and it's the one that's been bugging me the most, is the actual arms feel very tired. The muscles ache. Now that's because the estrogen reduces the muscle mass, particularly on your top half. So your body's losing muscle tissue, so no wonder they're aching. Now I swim, and I used to do about 46 lengths per hour, even though I'm disabled and struggle to swim. Well, that's gone down to around about 32 to 34 lengths per hour, so I've lost performance as well. And swimming for the first 15 or 20 minutes is really painful because the muscles are really complaining. However, once I've got the muscles warmed up and moving, things get easier. But it is one of those things that's quite a pain in the rear end. It's not all that pleasant. But there again, I was expecting something along this line, so you know, it's part and parcel of the process, so I have to deal with it. And to be quite honest, I don't mind. Let's see, anything else I've got noted down? No, that's it. Paperwork out of the way. Bye-bye notes. There's been a few other things I've been doing the last 5 weeks, and one of them has been playing around with eyelashes. I've been trying a couple of different false eyelashes. I never actually had thought about using false eyelashes. The idea, for some reason, seemed vain, wrong. I didn't like the idea of it. But I thought I'd give it a go and see how I do. And whilst I still haven't got them completely right, I am actually finding that they've made quite a difference. The odd thing is, when I've got a pair of false eyelashes on and I look in the mirror, I don't recognise the person looking back at me in the mirror. It's quite an odd sensation to have to look harder to think, who on earth is it? The difference is really around the eyes. It changes the shape of the eyes. It changes how I perceive the eyes. Makes the eyes look a little smaller. It might make them a little bit bigger, wider. It changes where the shadows lie. So of course, you know, your body's, or I should say your mind, is used to how you look. And when you do something that changes that, it takes a while for the mind to actually adjust. I had the same issue when I dyed my hair. To start with, my mind took a while to get used to the different colour of hair. And it's been much the same process with changing the eyelashes. But it's been quite a useful experiment, because I do think I look a lot better with a pair of false eyelashes. I would like to use the term I look more feminine, but I know that it's only me that can really say one way or the other. So maybe I'm being a bit vain or personal, I'm not sure. However, a couple of people I know have seen me with false eyelashes do reckon it does soften the face. It does help to change the face. It just makes it more, yeah, it does make it more effeminate. So, you know, it's been well worth it. I've still got a couple of different types of eyelashes to try. More fuller, longer, some shorter ones and some coloured ones. I'd like to see just how they change the face itself. So it's a future experiment that's got to carry on going. So overall, yeah, I've just thrown my notes away, haven't I? Overall, it's been quite a success. 5 weeks has been quite interesting. Changes have been subtle, changes have been small, but things are starting to move, and that is the most important thing. What I've got to come up with now, of course, in the next 6 weeks or so is the blood test from the hormone levels, but that's going to be difficult. With no doctor supporting me, or in my case a doctor who just doesn't want to support me, I don't know how I'm going to get her to arrange blood test and an endocrinologist. Now that's a big posh word, endocrinologist. Somebody who basically studies hormone levels. It's going to be interesting. I could do a home test, but they are, well, let's put it this way, they're very expensive, and then you still need the endocrinologist, and getting hold of one of those is going to be expensive, so it's not going to be the best way of dealing with it. So I'm hopeful that I can get round the doctor and get her to help. But if she can't or refuses to, which of course is to break the law, but she doesn't seem to care about that, I don't know what I'll do. But I'll find a way forward. So probably the next time I talk to you, I'll have done my blood test. The vampires will have stuck a needle into me at the hospital and taken some blood away. The one thing I do expect that will be adjusted is my levels. They may increase the anti-androgen, and they may increase the estrogen in about 10 weeks' time, but we'll see when I've spoken to an endocrinologist. Other than that, there's not much else I can tell you, except, of course, as you can see, much better picture. Webcam on the computer, yeah. Bye-bye, webcam. You know, it all went pear-shaped. Lost its colour and then decided not to work. So, at least we've got something a bit better. Good thing, of course, is my hair looks a lot stronger in colour, which is nice to see. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm waffling, and I'll leave it here. So with that, I'll say bye-bye, see you later, and we'll chat in probably about 6 to 8 weeks' time. Bye-bye for now.